welcome to the show. I'm Antisocial, and this is the Antisocial Network.
I want to talk to her, but my face is up against the wall. Yeah, I think she wants to talk to me, but I'm antisociable. Yeah.
This week, I talk about the recent phenomenon of workers not wanting to return to their shitty, low-paying jobs, and the bosses who miss them. Thanks for tuning in! It's the Sunday afternoon before this posts, and I'm just sitting down to write this episode. I usually try to have episodes recorded at least a week in advance, but sometimes life gets in the way. At the very least, I like to have a good idea what I want to talk about that week so that when I do sit down to write an episode, I have somewhere to go. Not today. Nope. I'm going into this with the least amount of preparation of any of my episodes to date, but that's okay. When I'm feeling stressed out about content creation and the arbitrary deadlines I've imposed on myself, I remember what my friend Joey Helpish said. When making art feels hard, just be lazier. After all, doing C work is better than not participating. I'd rather put out a half-assed episode than no episode at all, and hey, isn't getting through life a bunch of half-assery anyway? That's why I just decided to write about something universally relatable. Fuck work! I might not even do any real research for this episode, because living in late-stage capitalism America has uniquely qualified me to wing this. I can stream of consciousness long-form write all day about how my lived experience has prepared me for this moment. I spent the better part of the past 2 weeks trying to get a hold of EDD. For those not in the know, that's the Employment Development Department, otherwise known as the Unemployment Office. Anyone who has ever tried to navigate this system knows how convoluted and confusing it can be, and especially now during the pandemic, it's nearly impossible to get through. It's probably actually statistically easier to win a contest on a call-in radio show than it is to get through to the unemployment department. You can spend literal hours a day, every day of the week, for weeks straight calling and not get through on the phone. And right now, there is no physical office open that we can show up to, at least not in my county. It has taken up all of my mental bandwidth over the last 2 weeks just trying to resolve this. So, needless to say, I haven't had much else on my mind. That's why today I decided, fuck it, I'm going to write about being on unemployment. I'm a part of the generation that's been told we're too lazy and self-absorbed, eat too much avocado toast, and don't know how to save, while simultaneously being told that we might have to wait until our parents die to ever have a shot at homeownership. We're called idealistic and out of touch when we opine for community living, while also being told since we were 15 that we will probably have to work until we die and will never be able to retire. I graduated college in 2008, at the peak of what would be only the first economic crisis of my adult life, and couldn't find work because so many people had lost jobs that I was entering a workforce with adults in my field who not only had a degree, but 10 years of experience. Once the workforce loosened up a few years later, I still couldn't find full-time work or work in my field because employers favored college graduates that were fresh out of school who didn't have 3 to 4 years of irrelevant or blank work experience on their resumes. And that's with my white privilege, nepotism, of which I benefited greatly, and no considerable financial hurdles. I am not alone in feeling left behind and stunted. Many people my age are left feeling deficient because, while wages remain stagnant, social programs are stripped and defunded, opportunities shrink, and we are forced out of spaces, society still wants us to believe it's our fault, with narratives about buying too many lattes or getting Postmates too much. Add to that the general consensus that poor people don't deserve nice things, let alone a vacation, and many young people have even internalized this belief. Since crowdsourcing is so normalized, everyone monetizes all their hobbies, the gig economy is glorified because everyone is forced to piecemeal an income with multiple jobs, entrepreneurship is king, and the only foreseeable path out is Bitcoin or other abstract ideas that are inaccessible to most poor people, like, for instance, the GameStop hedge fund situation. So many people under 40 cannot conceive of what it means to not have to curate their entire lives for profit because they have no understanding of how much has been taken away from us. American capitalism has convinced us all that we can succeed on our merit and hard work alone, when the truth is that success in America increasingly is determined by what you were born with, and the social programs, safety nets, and regulations that used to keep us safe, housed, fed, and working are diminishing each year in favor of corporate interests and the wealthy elite. Feeling guilty when we rest, only pursuing hobbies we can monetize, and regarding our own self-worth in terms of productivity, and I cannot stress this enough, is not normal. When I say fuck work, I mean more specifically this sudden phenomenon that employers are shocked no one wants to work for them coming out of the pandemic. According to them, we got a taste of that sweet, sweet unemployment money and we're all high on our own self-worth, foolishly believing we deserve a living wage. I mean, what stupid idiot would choose to live on government assistance when they could be doing manual labor full-time for rude and obnoxious customers at slave wages? It's obscene! That is seriously the attitude employers in the wealthy class are treating us with. They are genuinely surprised, crying, "Wah, no one wants to work for me," while wiping their tears away with money and franchise fast food napkins. That's not hyperbolic. The number of fast food restaurants complaining about low employment rates is so fucking laughable. I saw a photo on Instagram this week of a sign taped to an Arby's drive-thru that said, "Closed due to no employees. We are hiring." Oh, I'm sorry, Arby's owner. When you decided to open one, or maybe 20, franchise restaurants where you presumably would never work so much as a managerial shift in your fucking life, what were you expecting? To get rich on a bunch of low-wage workers in a marginalized community so you could do what exactly? Name your boat roast beef? Okay, the only research I've done so far is Googling what is Arby's most popular sandwich, and that proved fruitless. So from here on, I'll stop doing that. Before I say more stuff without the benefit of facts and research, relying entirely on my own brain and lived experience, like some sort of man who speaks with the blind confidence that he's right, let's take a quick break. Are you tired of at-home tattoo treatments that leave your spouse disappointed and your skin infected? Do you want the professional look of your local tattoo artist, but their shop is out of range of your ankle monitor? If you've got that itch to get some new ink but can't afford the high prices of qualified artists every paycheck, then you need Madison Bleed. Started by a mom and named after her daughter's horrible tattoo, you too can use Madison Bleed to fix your fuck-ups at home. Not just for cover-ups, Madison Bleed is perfect for the novice tattooist and comes with a tracing guide for sparrows, semicolons, and foreign language symbols. Start designing your quality at-home tattoos today with Madison Bleed. If you're bored with your cat's current litter, then you're in for a treat. While some cat litters change colors to inform you about your cat's health, Yummy Litter is the only cat litter that changes color to tell you when your cat's litter is safe to eat. This fail-proof method turns your cat's feces into delectable bite-sized treats pre-proportioned perfectly by your very own feline. All you need to do is wait for the litter surrounding your cat's most recent deposit to turn green, wait 2 hours until it turns orange, then wait another 30 minutes until it has transitioned fully to purple. At this point, it is safe to eat, but only within the 2-hour window before it turns blue. If the poop turns blue, you have waited too long and you should not ingest. If blue poop is ingested after the 2-hour safety window, immediately drive to your nearest emergency room and seek the care of a professional. Yummy Litter! Fun for you and your family! Welcome back. It's not that people hate work. It's that experience has taught us that work is demoralizing, exhausting, thankless, and still doesn't pay the bills. Even if the pandemic employment assistance doesn't pay more than a person's weekly paycheck, which in many cases it has, why wouldn't any sane person opt for a little bit of a pay cut in exchange for the infinitely more freedom, physical, and mental relief they get from not showing up to that shitty job? Anyone who has ever worked retail knows it's a patronizing joke to act like operating a cash register for rude assholes is some fulfilling, life-affirming work. You know what makes me feel respected at work? A living wage. More time off. Benefits. A manager that won't fire me and replace me in 12 hours if my car breaks down. And let's say that your unemployment is paying you more than what you were earning at your job. Well then, hot damn, why the hell would anyone choose to go back to work? The fact that people are angry about this is not surprising. It's why people are angry that's got me pulling my hair out. The anger should not be towards supposedly lazy people who would rather collect assistance than work. The outrage should be directed towards employers and corporations who think it's acceptable that their rate of pay is not equal to what the government has calculated as a living wage. That is what's outrageous. We live in a society that values money above all else and treats employees as disposable while also pushing fake rhetoric about being a work family in order to secure company loyalty, then feigns surprise when we discover that people don't love showing up to their jobs. We do literally nothing to invest in worker satisfaction and act like money is God, then everyone's surprised when no one wants to work because employment benefits are sufficient to meet their needs. Look, if you love your job, great. Good for you. You're in the minority. But I'm willing to bet that most people who truly love their job and feel fulfilled in their careers do not regularly experience food or housing insecurity, are likely not disabled, and know when their next paycheck is coming. If you provided Arby's employees with true job security and a sense of feeling valued at their job, I'm sure plenty of people would actually love working at Arby's. I saw another sign on Instagram from an employer that read, "You no longer have to live on unemployment. Now hiring a full-time day cook." The audacity of that statement really struck me. They're really out here thinking we're embarrassed to be on unemployment. Ha! While they're coming up with patronizing quips to put on their marquees and Facebook posts, I'm living my best life. There was another post circulating where a woman was saying that it's ridiculous more than a year after a global pandemic that employers are still asking for cover letters. And I agree. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, Sephora? I've been saying since I entered the workforce in the middle of a recession in 2008 that the amount of experience employers require respective to the position being offered is fucking ludicrous. You'll be applying for a minimum wage job in the mall selling shoes, and the application will seriously be like 2 years experience required in a high school degree, 3 references, and a cover letter explaining why you want to work here. Excuse me, what? You need employees, I need money, what the fuck is the problem? Don't even get me started on unpaid internships. We are so close to realizing as a society that no one deserves to go without food, water, or housing, ever. COVID has radicalized many people into finally realizing glaring discrepancies about our society. It has become so normalized, it's now a cliche. People will joke, "What? In the middle of a pandemic?" But it's also very serious. When people were getting evicted while landlords were being given loans and forgiveness, people declared, "In the middle of a pandemic?" When people were getting laid off and there was no help in sight, we yelled, "In the middle of a pandemic?" When people were arguing for a $2,000 monthly stimulus at the start of the pandemic, which, by the way, many citizens in other countries got, no questions asked, from their governments, disabled people spoke up and pointed out that if $2,000 a month was what people needed to live, then surely disability should be raised to $2,000. Society balked. At 4Simple Words on TikTok pointed out, "The only reason that this world is as inaccessible as it is because no one gives a fuck about disabled people. Disabled people like me have been asking for things like the ability to work from home or watch classes and conferences online for years, and it's always been, it's too difficult, we can't do it, no one will ever agree, blah blah blah. And the second the able-bodied majority needs it, y'all do it overnight. You had the capacity all this time, you just didn't want to do it when disabled people needed it. But the second you do, okay, fine, easy, done, no big deal." She's right. Unless you are born in America with wealth and property, all you have left is your body to earn an income. If you're disabled or neurodivergent or otherwise don't fit into the standard 9-to-5 work model where you exist as a cog to make other people money, there's no place for you in this society. Your worth is determined by your ability to generate capital, and if you can't generate capital, well then fuck you. So many things we consider normal are actually adaptations to keep you productive and participating as a worker bee who asks no questions and poses no problems. Despite the fact that numerous studies have shown that children are more productive if school starts at 10 a.m., we can't do that because work starts at 8 a.m. 3 square meals a day? That too. For a majority of human history, we have not adhered to a 3 meal a day diet, but eaten smaller amounts of food more frequently throughout the day, or have practiced fasting until we could eat one large meal. Even our 8-hour sleep schedule is contrived from a need to get work done and less from our natural circadian rhythms. We consider it a feminist position for women to be working outside the home, but many women who may want to stay home often can't afford to do that. After World War II, we lionized our Rosie the Riveter types who joined the workforce and never left. But what about women who are fulfilled and satisfied working as homemakers, but now no longer have that choice? We frame women working outside the home as a feminist choice, when it's in fact nearly impossible to survive anymore without a dual income. And even so, with the pay gap and stagnant wages, women returning to work after having children often cancels out the cost of childcare. Why would a mother go back to work 20 to 40 hours a week if that job only provided her enough income to cover the childcare costs required to take care of her child while she works said job? Women's lives and careers are often derailed because of issues like these, and yet we wonder why some women regard motherhood as a jail sentence, or why so many young people are choosing not to have children altogether. While the rich get richer and try to find new ways to evade taxes, we become poorer and poorer, passing around the same money with mutual aid and never seemingly able to improve our conditions. We're on the brink of an awakening where people will start to realize that no one deserves to be homeless, hungry, or go without healthcare, period. Regardless of age, race, gender, criminal background, orientation, addiction, housing status, diagnosis, working or not working, disability, mental health crisis, or otherwise. We have enough resources in this country to take care of everyone. Whether it's reallocating military spending or taxing the rich, no one should be left to die, pandemic or not. And the truth is, it's not work that we hate, it's being exploited. Everyone wants to feel that they have value and are contributing to society. And even if they don't or can't, for whatever reason, those people deserve to live too. But for the majority of us, we want to work. We also deserve to be treated with respect and live with dignity. That includes being paid a living wage, not starved and threatened with homelessness each month due to a low income that never gets us out of the living paycheck to paycheck cycle. For many people, the quarantine has allowed us to pursue creative or career interests that we've never been able to try in our life. Many people now have the time to pick up a hobby they've always wanted to do, and some, thanks to unemployment assistance, have the resources to invest in starting a business or expanding a work-from-home opportunity. We don't want to go back. Why would we? Not now that we've gotten a taste of what it really means to be fulfilled. My favorite reply to the picture I saw of a boss trying to shame people on unemployment was a woman who said, "I like how it's casually mentioned here that employers need workers." What she said was so simple that I almost missed it. You see, we've been duped into thinking we need work, but clearly they need us. The joke's on them. We're the ones with the power. Deprive us long enough, and soon we'll have nothing to lose. When we all return to the workforce and prospective employers try to ask us how we enriched ourselves during our break from work, or whatever bullshit they try to spin about the time we spent unemployed since we were in the middle of a global pandemic, remember, we're interviewing them too. Ask them, how did you provide for your employees and ensure safety during the pandemic? Did you offer hero pay? They shouldn't be asking us why we want to work for them. We should be asking them, why would I want to work for you? That's my show. I'm Antisocial, and this is the Antisocial Network. For even more access to me, Antisocial, follow me on Instagram at the Antisocial Network or catch me on the app Stereo. Remember, I'm still taking submissions from listeners of your own funny fake ads. If I like your commercial, I might play it on my podcast. Submit your ads up to 1 minute long in the Anchor app. Find the link in my show notes. To receive 2 extra bonus episodes from me a month, and to support my content creation dreams, subscribe to my Patreon for only $5 by going to patreon.com/theantisocialnetwork. This month on Patreon, you'll hear about a mysterious suppressed memory I can't seem to figure out, and my scariest encounter with the paranormal. As always, new episodes are released to the free feed every week where podcasts are found. I'll be back next Wednesday with a new episode. Later!
But I'm antisociable, yeah.